Good day, folks. We welcome you to another Bible Voter's Guide. And I'm going to deal with what may be a bit of a controversial subject. We've seen this throughout the course of this pandemic period, and we've seen it all over our country throughout the summer, now into the fall. And it's the idea of riots versus protest. Now, we know our Constitution lays out pretty clearly that there's a right to peaceful protest. And we also, if we have any measure of wisdom or discernment at all, know that what we have seen and has been very public has not been peaceful protest. How many times have we seen the news say, look, this peaceful protest as a building burns down? We know we're being lied to, and that we struggle with that, but at the same time there are people with legitimate concerns, and they're trying to voice those concerns, and there is a difference between riot and protest. And what does the Bible say about it? Well, the Bible teaches us in 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 40, let all things be done decently and in order. All things are to be decently and in order, not in just total chaos. Now, there's a movement in our nation that is pushing chaos, pushing anarchy, breeding Marxism and tearing down America. And God's people are the voice to resist these things. Now, furthermore, the Bible says that we are not to riot in the daytime, 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 13. And furthermore, in Romans chapter 13 and verse 3, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. If it is breeding strife, it is breeding chaos, then that's not of God. No matter what it may stand for, it's not of God. The Bible is very clear about this. For the Bible says in 1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 23, rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Let's not confuse people who have legitimate concerns and are voicing those concerns with the anarchy that we have seen in our country. We've seen it in the anti-police movements and the anti-government movements. Hey, I'm a Baptist. I spend as much time griping about the government as anybody, but we're not trying to destroy things, and there's a difference. Instead, Romans chapter 13 says, let every soul be subject unto higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God. Let's be very plain. There's a difference between riot and protest. The Bible makes it pretty clear that God's people have a voice. We can cry out to the king, we can cry out to the government, we can cry out to God Himself. But we're not out rioting. We're not out breeding strife. We're still maintaining our position of being subject unto higher powers. Now, there'll be times that those higher powers push against us, and then, according to Acts, we ought to obey God rather than men. But that's when it comes in contradiction to the Scriptures. Let's make sure that God's people live a life that is obedient. We have an anarchy being pushed on our nation today, and we must resist it with a God of order. I hope these principles will help you. God bless you.